All right, art log number 19. So since then, it's been a little bit over a month since our last one. That was just because I felt like I didn't have enough to really show, and I was kind of doing more. As always, I'm kind of more doing for the past month. I've been trying to focus more on not only physically drawing, but actually like paying attention to documentaries and being a little bit more informed on some things that I kind of draw around. Like, for example, like I'll watch some videos, like I'll watch a lot of videos on design, mainly by FZD right now, but once I get through all of those videos I want to branch out and do other things. But I've been taking a lot of notes on design principles and kind of like the do's and don'ts of design, kind of. But I always take everything with a grain of salt, because you don't want to I hear a lot of people use the word never and don't a lot, and I feel like it's always kind of, it depends on the situation, right? I don't want to ever be closed-minded to one thing or another. So a lot of time I use maybe, like probably shouldn't do this or that, etc. But anyways, yeah, so this is November 24th. And on this day, I don't exactly remember what I was doing. I think I was still doing the these drawings right here. Let me get a red marker. So I was still doing like redesigns or whatever of these little thumbnail sketches I did, and it didn't exactly go where I wanted it to go, but I decided I just might as well like move on from it, because at that point I was just spending too much time on it, and it was starting to become really blatant that I just needed to study more anatomy and more, perspective and stuff like that. So that's mainly what I've been trying to focus a little bit more on lately. And I have a giant sketchbook. Like one day, I don't know when, but like I'll be able to show like what I've done in my sketchbook since like over the past couple art logs that I've had. But basically, I'm just trying to get myself as familiar with everything as I can before I go into art school or design school, because I don't want to be the person that's the least prepared. So I've just been really busting my ass in that manner, or regarding that. I don't know if I use that right. But yeah, I've been pretty much just doing like, god damn it. Okay, so these pretty much are a good example of what I've been doing in my sketchbook. Just trying to do gesture poses and like looking at poses, trying to draw out the pose, even though it looks a little wanky. Just trying to understand how, generally speaking, how they're supposed to look. All right, like, even though this process of like showing the things that I've done since like last month or whatever might be a little cringe to me, I think it's important for the people who might be coming behind me, like following the same footsteps, you know what I mean? Not necessarily following me, but like sometimes when artists reach a certain point where they're like really good at what they do, like I always try to look back on like their steps and like what they did when they were at my level. And that's kind of what I use this to do, because even mistakes can be used as a learning opportunity. That's the most important thing that I try to take out of every study that I do. Even though it looks really bad, I gotta learn something from it. And if I don't, it's pretty much a waste of time. And it's not a study, I was just pretty much doodling. But even that can be picked apart and not always applied to every single situation. So I'm not gonna act like, whatever I say is it. But yeah, these are pretty much I pretty much did a lot of exploration stuff. So like well, not a lot, but this was the thumbnail, and I just took that and kind of looked into like what kind of helmets that could come out of it, and just did more and more sketches, just trying to see what they would look like. And then that's where I landed at this point, and I tried to come up with a pose for it, but then I just kind of, I don't know, I just kind of like just wanted to rush, and like as you can see, like I was trying to find like some kind of side view or something. I didn't really like, it's really weird. And whenever I try to do things like this that I don't normally do, it just becomes blatant that I really need to study anatomy and stuff, because when things look this awkward, it's really discouraging. So the way that I encourage myself to get through these kinds of moments is just to draw a metric shit ton of gesture drawings and studies, and not necessarily, like I notice a lot of people studying like muscle groups and stuff like that. I don't really see that as like exactly something that's high priority for me right now, because I'm not drawing people like shirtless. I'm more drawing robots and stuff. So if I generally like, I'm just trying to get the measurements of like, okay, like how long is the arm before it gets to the elbow, and then from there, how long is it till it gets to the hand and the joint, you know, how far does that go to the next shoulder, and how do I make that look like, you know, the same kind of length as this, and you know, how does that look, and stuff like that. So that's generally speaking what I've been pretty much doing when it comes to the gestures. So yeah, so we'll go ahead and move on to the next one, because at this point I'm spending way too much time on one drawing. And I know, like, with me being a beginner, you know, or I guess you could say intermediate beginner or something like that, advice coming from me might not mean a lot to some people, but there's always going to be someone that comes along and is willing to listen to anybody and kind of take what they can, and I don't know. I'm just hoping it helps somebody to see like that the process isn't always so clean cut as far as learning to be, you know, better at something. And you don't just go from drawings like this to league splash arts in a day or a month or a week, you know, of studying hard. It's about being consistent over a very long period of time and being able to dedicate that time towards I don't know, studying the right things, I think. So I think this is just more gestures. Okay, no, so this is another drawing that I randomly did when I was in this Discord talking to some friends, I guess, and I just randomly came up with that. And then these are some, like, I tried to do a pose with that, and like, again, it became blatantly obvious that anatomy is something that I need to be studying. So like, whenever I try to push myself out of my comfort zone and I notice stuff like that, I immediately stop and go back to studying gestures, which might not be, you know, the same way that other people do it, but that's what I've been doing. So yeah, pretty much this is like the 3 like tries that I tried at it before I kind of figured like, okay, I need to wrap this thing up and go do some gesture studies. So like, here's an overdraw that I probably tried to do of that little skeleton in the back. Sorry, these tabs are all over the place. Yeah, so that's the skeleton, and yeah. So okay, so that's November 26th. Oh yeah, Happy New Year's, by the way. Yeah, Happy New Year's. No. Okay. So December 2nd. So this is another one that I tried to do, like a full body thingy. I think this one came out a little better. Part of me thinks it's because I didn't try to draw a skeleton under it, I don't think. Let me check. So yeah, okay, so I started the day doing like a study of medieval armor. Just kind of looking at it and drawing exactly what I saw and kind of changing a little bit here and there. And this was actually pretty fun. Like, I should definitely do more of this. And you know what? I think that's what I'm going to do after I get done recording this video. Might take a little 15-20 minute break. Might play a league game or something. Kind of cool down. But yeah, that's I wish I could show you guys the reference. I'll make sure to do that next time. Yeah, so this was the original size, but it looked like I hate thin lines, man. Like, I can't stand sketching with really thin lines, so I kind of like just made it bigger and just like filled in the lines a little bit. So this was the original pose. It was like someone standing, and then like it looked really weird to me. Obviously, right? Like, but yeah, it just looked a little weird, man. I was just like, yo, this ain't working. Like, I would just make them neutral posing or something, like something that's a little more simpler. So I just went with this. I don't know if it came out. I mean, I'd say about roughly, like, I'd give myself, out of 100 on the pose, I'd give myself like a 70%, because I feel like 30% of it, like, it's just, I don't know exactly what it is yet, but I know it's not there. And like, this is me just changing the pose to be a little bit more neutral. I don't know if you can notice the difference much. I think it's just the legs being straightened right here. So this leg right here, oh fuck, what the hell happened to my arrow? So that leg right there changes a little bit. So as you can see, like, this one's kind of diagonal. Oh crap. This one's kind of diagonal, and on this one's just kind of more straight. So that's pretty much all I changed right there. And this, oh, so yeah, I was gonna try to put this guy in a like a scenery or a scene or something like that, but I felt like I was just jumping too far ahead. Like, even though I'd love to do stuff like that, I'm not one for trying to jump ahead, like too far ahead of where I know I can, like, before I do landscapes and stuff in the background. I want to do like, I want to feel like 3 sketchbooks of straight like nature studies. Like, I can't wait, man. But like, before I do that, there's a lot of things I want to do. Like, I want to study a lot of hands and a lot of feet and a lot of, you know, necks turning and a lot of torso turns and pelvis turns. I think it's called the pelvis. I don't know. There's so much I want to do, man. And it's like, at times it is stressful and it's really demotivating sometimes, knowing that there's so much that you need to study before you get to that point. But more times than not, I'm really excited to push myself into that area. Like, right now I have a ruler set coming, and I have this giant like 3-foot sketchbook, maybe 2 foot, maybe like 2.5 foot, 2.5 by like 2 feet. And it's this big giant sketchbook I have from my community college class that I used to have, on art. Like, it was, we were supposed to go buy this big sketchbook, and the whole term we only used like 3 pages out of it. It was crazy. Like, but anyways, yeah, so I just took those pages out, and I'm just gonna use that for specifically like perspective and like shapes and perspective and all that. It's gonna be really cool. So hopefully I can fill that big giant sketchbook by like, I don't know, like a couple months from now, maybe like 3 or 4, maybe 5 months, maybe even 6 months. Who knows? It could be a year-long project if I haven't left for design school by then. And that's only if everything goes according to plan. You know, I don't know. I'm not 100% certain that I'll be able to go, but I'm about like 90% certain. So yeah, I tried to put them in the background. Didn't really work out, so I was just like, all right, well, I'll just go on to something else. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, I tried to have a sword on his back, but I was just like, yeah, it looks a little flat. So this is pretty much exactly what I have in my sketchbooks right now. So what I'll do, not 2 minutes, most of the time I'll do 1 minute each, and I'll do like 40 of them, and it'll fill up about like, I don't know, because I'll do like 6. Most of the time I fit about 6 poses into each page. So it's about 6-7 minutes, maybe 8 minutes per page. So out of a 100-page book, I'm getting about 800 minutes of studying. Typically speaking, some pages have less, some pages have more. And I would say 200. So I would say about 1,600 hours or 1,600 minutes of gesture studies. And I have like every page, like I'll put the date at the top of each page, so like I'll hit like 12/1/20 or something like that, and then like, I don't know, like a random time, 4:32 p.m. and then on the bottom of every page I used to like put the time that I finished that page, but now I just do it at the end of the study, so like, you know, I'm not having to pause the poses and everything. So yeah, here's more poses. They like in some of the and where I do my poses, I do them on quickposes.com, I think it is. Some of the poses they come with, and I do the like nude ones, like the nude ones and the costume ones, because it helps you to see like the form of the body, whatever. But anyways, yeah, I'm just praying no one ever walks in on me just drawing some naked lady. But anyways, yeah, some of the poses end up really weird, and like I always just try to get them in there. But yeah, this is pretty much how like my poses end up. So each one of these is about 2 minutes. Probably not ones like this because it's a little smaller, so I probably stopped halfway through or something. And yeah, so there's poses that I like more than others. I mean, even though they're all like kind of janky, they're gestures. And the thing I like about gestures is that it forces you like, kind of not to focus on the detail and like everything looking all perfect and stuff. So it takes that pressure off of you to have these perfect looking sketches all the time. I think that's a really important thing for me that kind of helps me not to over analyze myself and overthink, you know, my progress and stuff like that. So yeah, this is 40 poses. So, or no, 20 poses because it's 2 minutes each. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So all right, so December 5th. So I think this is more Yeah, so this on this day I was pretty much like having a really bad day. And I was just like, man, maybe I do need to like go into muscle groups and all that. It didn't last long, I'll tell you that right now. So I like for a couple of sketches, I was just looking at the forms of the arm and stuff like that, and just all of them were so big. And I was just like, you know what? Why not see if I could like how much of this stuff do I know so far? So I tried to do some sketches without like looking at the arm like really paying attention to too much, like, and I did the arms as best I knew how, and I was like, okay, I mean, they don't look super bad. They look bad, but not super bad. Sorry, it's hard not to trash your own art sometimes, so I gotta remember not to do that. More poses and studies and stuff. This is the stuff that normally, like, when my friends ask me, or people that I know, whenever they ask me, like, oh, what you been up to, like, and I say studying, this is pretty much it. Yeah, so like, yeah. And obviously I want to move into like material studies, but I think right now it's just important to know like one of my friends was arguing that I should learn how to render and stuff like that, but it didn't really make sense for me to like be like, he's like, well, you know how to draw helmets, so why don't you learn how to render helmets? And I'm like, well, because I don't want to only draw helmets, man. Like I want to learn how to draw everything on the like that's attached to it at least decently before I move into any kind of you know, materialistic studies and stuff like that. Like as fun as it's gonna be, like I always feel like I'm skipping ahead. And maybe it's just me, I don't know. But that's just, I've been sticking to my gut lately, and the last thing I want to do is, you know, try to jump ahead and just end up really sad because I'm not performing as well as I thought I would. You know, when I'm obviously learning. Like it's, yeah. So yeah, these are more little poses. Really like these. I've been getting pretty better, like kind of better at these. And then I took one pose and made it into this like little soldier guy here. And about like 15, I think it took like 20 minutes or something. And then I took from this little thumbnail right here, I made this little helmet and posted it to Instagram. I was kind of happy with it. It's just kind of like after all these like gestures, I was like, okay, like I'm kind of confident enough to do something right now, so I'll do it. So that's what came out of that. I'm making sure that I close the previous ones as I go, because okay. So this is another one that I did. I guess you could say like a half body or something like that. I was pretty I'm actually still pretty happy with this. And I haven't went to go post any of these to Instagram or anything like that yet, because like I've been pretty much like there's just so much, and I lost my phone, so I can't just post all of them at once. I'd have to post each and every one, and like I'm not gonna, like, I don't want to spam people and like, you know, end up blowing up their feed with that. But oh, sorry, that was loud. How I got to that, I started off with this. Yeah. Oh wait, so yeah, this is the same guy. Okay, so I took this pose and I took that helmet drawing and I kind of like tried to make the pose a little bigger because I was gonna put details in. Didn't really like it, and then I tried to add some muted colors in there and see like what would it look like. Just kind of dipping my feet in the water a little bit. I didn't exactly like how it looked, but you know, I was okay with it. Like I did this while I was streaming, so like my brain was split between talking to people in chat, like the 1 or 2 people that were watching, and then like kind of like trying to do something that was low stress that wouldn't be like really bad looking. So that's what I was just doing. Did like another random pose there and just trying to have a little fun. And then I think I know what's coming up next. So I realized, because when I was talking about the stream, when I was talking on the stream, I was like, man, like I barely use the triangle whenever I make helmets. So like, why not just try to like design something that has a little bit of that in it? So I like, you know, I did that and just randomly like made shapes off of it. You can tell like I'm not too confident with it because I keep stopping lines halfway through and I'm like doing this. It's gonna happen. But yeah, I basically like just took a whole bunch of helmets and just made random stuff out of them. Just tried to make a helmet using a triangle basically. So yeah, that's what that was. Really cool. I really liked it. And that's the original sketch. So yeah, I took like, so after I ended the stream, I just basically looked at triangles and I was like, huh, how many times can I apply this into a drawing? And this was like kind of just a quick exercise. I was like, all right, I want to make 10 helmets using a triangle as an exercise. So that's what I did. And I don't know when I'm going to upload these to Instagram, but yeah. So December 15th. So this was another one that I did. It was just pretty much, I was just pretty much free floating here. Like these kinds of drawings always come super easy because I've done them so many times. So bust drawings are super easy for me at this point. Not really hard to do. They don't really take a lot of energy or thought into them. It's just like a section of the body that I've kind of nailed at this point. At least as far as I know, like in neutral poses like that. Obviously, like when it comes to like crazier poses, I'm not too good at them because I don't do them that often. So that's another thing to note down that I should probably spend more time doing. And like I said, like more little head thumbnails and like trying to see like what goes where. And I really like this one right here actually. And this one, honestly. I like all of them. Yeah, I like all of them, even this one. And then I did one in the neutral pose, and I didn't really like it too much. I felt like this area was kind of weird. And the arms were probably kind of, I don't know. And then I did it again, so I went this way pretty much, and then I simplified it. Or, no, or it could have went this way. Or I could have went this way. I don't know. I don't remember. That was almost a month ago, so like, yeah. So this was another attempt at doing a full body sketch. And or at least a semi full body. Like I kind of hid the feet, and I hate doing that. Like I'm never doing that again, honestly. Like next time I'll just try to tackle the foot as best I can. But let me see what I have first here. So yeah, this is the pose. So like I have the pose here at like 7%. So I just drew this pose really quickly, and then I ended up drawing like this quick robot looking guy over it. And then from that, I was just like, okay, like, oh wait, okay. So from this, I ended up with this. So I went like this. So pretty much, this was the first kind of drawing, and then this was kind of like an overdraw kind of. So I did that, and then from there, I did this one. And like I kind of like use a little reference. I don't even think I really looked at that often. Like I never really do look at reference when I make helmets and stuff like that. But like then I always like to go from this and kind of like make a little head shot like of the helmet close up. So like if I wanted to change any details, like I would do it here first and then just imagine it at a different angle. Or at least try to. And then I think this one was the first one that I did. I was just like, it's just like supposed to be like a really neutral pose. And I think I was doing this while I was just talking in a Discord or something. So just trying to practice like more full bodies. I might upload some of these to Instagram actually. They're pretty cool. So these are more gesture drawing studies that I did on the 21st. And I decided to do these digitally, so it was about 40 minutes of gesture studies, I guess. So we'll go ahead and go through some of these. Obviously, the first layers are always like the one thing to always remember when you're doing gestures, like it, or at least for me, it seems like when you first start doing them, they're gonna be really like weird looking. Like your body has to kind of warm up to it. Just always remember that you have that warm up period. So if you have like those moments where you feel like you can't draw anything, test that actually out. Like test it out. That's what I'll do. Like I'll do a 40-minute gesture, just draw gestures for about 40 minutes to warm up. And then by that time, I'm like, okay, I can actually tackle something now, rather than just jumping into something randomly. It really helps to keep going, like more than you normally would otherwise. So here's the first gesture studies. Like, so I think these are 1 minute each. Yeah, 1 minute each. So there you go. So that's 4 minutes. And then as I went on, like I started kind of warming up a little bit more. So I think right here I kind of realized that like I was going a little too stiff with all these straight lines and stuff. like especially here. Especially here. I mean, especially here. Just everywhere. I was just noticing there was a lot of really straight lines. So I did this one. Crap. So I did this one right here. And I was just like, okay, like, let me just scribble some stuff around and see how that goes. There's that same pose again that I was talking about. Same pose comes up sometimes. So yeah, it was just, I don't know, I was all over the place with this. Yep, just more random poses. Yep. And then by the end of it, I was just like, okay, like, I think this one looks pretty decent. So I was just kind of like warmed up by that point. I don't think I did anything else that day on the 21st. Probably just did that and then sketched in the sketchbook too. So more gesture drawings. Yeah, so like, let's see, take this off. Okay, so I think, yeah, I didn't note how long this took each, so I don't know. It might be a minute, because I normally do either 1 minute or 2 minutes. Right now, I feel like I don't really achieve much more with like more time, so I think I need to start doing more like longer ones and kind of, I don't know, figure things out a little bit more, make poses look a little bit more fluid. I think that's one thing that I'll do, is do some like 3 minute, start pushing it up to like 2.5, 3 minutes, and just see what I can do with that extra time. So here's more like really, like I said, I try not to use too many straight lines here. Stop trying to focus on having everything look all cool and perfect. And I think that's what made them a little easier to do. Yep, some of them are gonna be kind of weird looking, but that's okay. The gesture drawings. And with this one, I just kind of like did the same one twice, and yeah, tried to do like a little sword pose. This was like a random robot thing that I just drew because I was bored. Like, I didn't feel like playing any games at the time, so I just decided to take these. It's really weird. Oh man, I didn't finish this, but the yeah, okay, I'm pretty okay. Yeah, okay, I'll just leave that. But yeah, that was just basically I was just trying to do like a side pose or a side view of that helmet, like this little helmet part. But yeah, this is just like a really quick thing that I did. I wasn't really trying to like pay too much attention to anything. I was just drawing random shapes, see how they connect together and all that. This is an interesting one. I did. So okay, before we get to here, hold on, 'cause there's so much going on in this. Okay, so these are just random gestures that I did, I guess, at the beginning to kind of warm up, I guess. I don't know. That's a really weird amount. Normally, I don't do that short amount of, or such a small amount of gestures at a time because of the whole warm up thing. So I started, I think, with this little sketch right here. So, started off with this sketch. And I honestly, like, looking at this, I can tell that like those gestures have somewhat helped with making the pose look not so weird. And it still looks weird. Don't like, I'm not saying like it doesn't, but it's definitely helped to see that. So this was kind of like the outline of like a silhouette of it, like, because I had it filled in. And this is what I did when I tried to color it. So I basically went through and colored it a little bit and just kind of dipped my foot in the water, you know. I felt like the pose was simple enough for me to go ahead and mess around with colors, so that's what I did. So yeah. And then from there, like, I was like, what if I had to do this like a 3D? Like, what if this had to be like handed to a modeler? Like, how would I do that? So I basically just started from the bottom, from like looking at this drawing right here. I was like, okay, and this was supposed to be like the human, like this is like a, I don't know, like a 5'10" foot human, 5 foot 10 inches. Yeah, so pretty much big ass robot, man. Like, and I kept looking back and forth and just tried to like mimic whatever I saw on this one as best I could. Just kind of like all these lines were to help me to like have things land in the same area, kind of. Looking back at them now, I have no idea what they were for. I don't even remember how I used them. I guess I just did it while I was drawing, so everything would kind of be, you know, like the feet wouldn't be at different levels and stuff like that. The knees would start at the same angle. The thighs would start at the same angle. The hips would start at the same level. Yeah, not angle, level. And I wanted this like line down the middle, like to be symmetrical. So like the helmet, the head wasn't like leaned over one side, and it probably still is. Like there's a lot that I would change with the helmet if I went back. I feel like it looks way too skinny, stuff like that. But hey, it's in the past now, so I'm gonna resist the temptation to go back and change stuff. And that was a quick sketch of this one. And then these were just random poses that I did, I guess, that I left in there or just filled the space with. I really seem to like this like angle whenever I draw gestures. Like, I don't know, I don't really like that. I really like that like kind of curve in the torso. But yeah, alright, so this was another sketch that I just randomly did while I was just idle, I guess. I wasn't doing anything, so I was just like, alright, let me just draw a generic looking helmet or something, I don't know. So I just pretty much sketched that up and just left it. So around this time I started thinking about doing gesture drawings for armor and stuff like that. Just basically just trying to draw armor really quick without focusing too much on detail and all that. So this is like, these are two sketches that came out of that. That was another one. Just kind of like a random. And this was another one like that I did. This was yesterday, so I just basically did more of those little random gesture looking drawings or something, just to see like where I was with them, I guess. This is another one that I did this one earlier today, like, so yeah, this was another like attempt at full body. Still working on it. I might come back to it later on tomorrow or something. And then these were just more random poses that I did. God damn, I cringe when alright, yeah, these are just random poses that I was just randomly drawing while I was watching this documentary. And this is today, so today I was just trying to figure out how to make these, you know, just mapping, like I call these thumbnails. Like, I was just thumbnailing stuff. I was just playing with random shapes and seeing how they worked, and I don't know what this guy's supposed to be doing. He should be looking this way. Should be like that, maybe. There's a problem too, like I keep making these, like whenever I have a neck attached to something, I feel like it looks flat right here. I gotta figure out what the hell's going on right here. Because it should be like that, right? Like maybe like that. So like maybe like that, so that way it's not so flat, and the neck can come up right there. That's where the ears would probably be. You wouldn't see the ears on that side. Yeah, and then maybe, I don't know, if I was doing a torso or something. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have this video. Yeah, I delayed it a little bit because I just wasn't feeling like it. I don't want to half-ass these videos ever. It's just like last time I tried to make the video, I just didn't really feel like talking as much as I knew I would have to. So I was just like, alright, well, let me just wait until there's so much that I need to make the video. That way I can just get it out the way and focus on getting that out, so that I won't like end up having to make like a 2-hour video or something just talking about my random sketches that I did that day, you know. So yeah, I hope you guys learned something. I'm hoping that I helped somebody with, like, maybe, I don't know, years down the line someone could come across these videos and be at the same point that I am right now and just be trying to learn and I hope these help you. And you can pretty much thank Feng Zhu for doing these, because I mean, he made these videos way before he even way before, like, I think at the, well, I can't say that, I don't think, but it's just like it helps to have things to look back on, like that artists, because I'm not noticing like a lot of people posting their studies and stuff like that, especially at my level. Everyone's just kind of shy about it, so this is kind of a way to throw myself out there and open myself up to other people, and hopefully one day I can have, I noticed that a lot of people try to teach, you know, and one day I do want to try to learn how to be a good teacher and teach some people whenever if I live long enough, I'll be able to, I don't know, teach some people some stuff. So yeah, there's like my little quick helmet, my quick helmet sketch right there. My little robot, I really like how he looks. So yeah, that's the kind of stuff that I want to do. Like, I'm just pretty much thumbnailing random stuff. Like, if I wanted to make a helmet with like a U shape, right? Just put that right there. Maybe this helmet would be like, see that? Probably have like a little visor right here. It's just an idea. It's not supposed to be perfect or anything. Just that's what my job is gonna be. It's just coming up with random ideas, and if they don't work, you just erase them, and they go away forever. That's the point of a concept artist. I don't think you erase. Okay, never mind. Anyways, catch you guys later. Tyrell's out, and peace. Holy shit, half an hour video, man. God, Jesus. Hey, if you made it to the end of the video, I like doing these kind of. Nah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to know who made it to the, because if one person makes it to the end and then like, yeah, bullshit. All right, later guys. Peace.